Hello, this is Monica Reinagel. Thanks for tuning in to the Nutrition Diva podcast. This week, I have some tips on how to keep jet lag from dragging you down when you travel. Whether you're traveling for work or pleasure, jet lag can really put a damper on things, especially if your travels take you across 3 or more time zones. It just takes a while for your body's circadian rhythms to adjust to your new time zone. Until it does, you may find yourself struggling to stay awake in the afternoons and then staring at the ceiling in the wee hours, and that leaves you even more tired the next day. Some people are more affected by jet lag than others. Those like my friend Eleanor, who can fall asleep whenever she needs to, regardless of the time of day, can quickly shrug off a change of time zone. Others, like my friend Craig, who needs a week to adjust to daylight savings time, have a harder time of it. And jet lag is also usually worse when traveling east than west. If I'm only crossing a couple of time zones and only staying for a few days, I often try to stay on my home schedule for the entire trip or close to it. When I fly from the East Coast to visit my sister in California, for example, I just get up at about 5 in the morning and go to bed by about 9:30 or 10 o'clock while I'm there. But this month, I'm traveling to Europe to attend a conference, and staying on Baltimore time simply will not be an option. Fortunately, there are a few tricks you can use to help your body synchronize to the local time more quickly. And now, here are 4 tips that can help you beat jet lag. Number 1, adjust your meal schedule. Most of us eat every few hours during the day, and then we have a 10 or 12-hour fast every night while we're sleeping. And this has a powerful effect on our body clocks. One way to reset your body clock when you travel is to refrain from eating during the hours that correspond to nighttime in the new time zone. When traveling east on the day you travel, eat your last meal at whatever time corresponds to dinner time at your destination, and then try not to eat again until it's breakfast time at your destination. When traveling west, on the day you travel, you'll want to eat your first meal at whatever time corresponds to breakfast at your destination. So this usually entails skipping dinner when traveling east and skipping breakfast when traveling west. And although this isn't tons of fun, this fasting technique can be a very effective way to synchronize your body clock to your destination. You do want to be sure to drink plenty of plain water, however, to keep yourself hydrated. If I get on a plane that's bound for Europe at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, for example, it's already 11 o'clock at night in Europe. And by the time they're serving dinner on the plane, it'll be 1 in the morning in Europe. So instead of eating and reading and watching movies on the flight over, I'll put on my eye mask, put in my earplugs, and do my best to doze for a few hours. And then I'll eat a substantial snack as soon as it's morning at my destination, and that's usually shortly before landing. When it's time to come home, I'll be traveling west, so I'll try to eat dinner on the late side the night before I travel. Then I'm going to try to sleep in as long as I can on my travel day, and then delay my first meal until about midday, which ends up being breakfast time back home. I'll enjoy a meal during the flight, and then I'll be back on the East Coast in time to have dinner at the regular time. Tip number 2 is to seek out the sun. Exposing yourself to morning sunlight is another very effective way to synchronize your body to local time. So try to plan your itinerary to allow you to get outside in the mornings for the day or two after you arrive in a new time zone. And you can vastly increase the effect of morning sun with exercise. Now, at the other end of the day, you want to avoid looking at your phone, computer, or tablet in the evening, or at the very least, use some blue blocking glasses. The blue light emitted by these devices can interfere with the evening secretion of melatonin, and that's one of the things that induces bedtime sleepiness. Seeing as the local bedtime is already coming either too late or too early for your body clock, don't make it any worse with blue light. And tip number 3 is to try some melatonin. A well-timed melatonin supplement can also help reset your body clock. Once you're at your destination, try taking 3 milligrams of melatonin about an hour before local bedtime for about 3 or 4 nights. but experts advise not taking melatonin to help you sleep during your flight. And that goes double for alcohol. And finally, my fourth tip is to time your caffeine. Caffeine, of course, can help alleviate drowsiness, but new research suggests that it also affects your body clock. In addition to boosting alertness, a dose of caffeine can delay evening melatonin release by about an hour. After traveling west, you can take advantage of this by having a cup of coffee about 3 hours before bedtime, and that effectively sets your body clock back an hour. After traveling east, however, you're trying to set your body clock ahead, not back. So avoid caffeine after breakfast on your departure day until your first breakfast at your destination. And don't drink caffeine during the afternoon or evening, even if you normally do, until you feel you've fully adjusted to the local time. I hope these tips can help make your next trip just a little bit easier and more enjoyable. Let me know how they work for you on the Nutrition Diva Facebook page, and don't forget to include some photos. You'll find a transcript of today's episode along with the entire Nutrition Diva archives at nutritiondiva.quickanddirtytips.com. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great week.